negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Earth Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigi, and thank you for your support.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, raping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
St. Paul Public Schools wants to make sure you're ready for back to school. They're having a 2-day Indian education school supply pickup on August 25th and 26th. It takes place at the Creative Arts Secondary School located at 65 East Kellogg Boulevard in St. Paul. Plus $50 of COVID vaccine incentives will be available both days. Again, that's the Indian Education School supply pickup on Thursday, August 25th and Friday, August 26th. At 65 East Kellogg Boulevard in St. Paul. Learn more by calling 612-369-9770.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear tonight with a low of 62, then sunshine on Tuesday with a high of 82. Nightingale at 26th and Lyndale in Minneapolis is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood bar and restaurant. Now open daily from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. with their full menu available until midnight. Check them out today at nightingalempls.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, victors.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. And I just want to say this portion's brought to you by Native Roots Trading Post. We're out at the fair. I just got back there. Wendy's setting it up with our daughters. It's going to be crazy. So if you want any of our swag, we have the Resist shirts out there. Come on down and see us. We're on the West End Market, and we'll be doing our show live starting Thursday. So even you Wisconsin people out there on our civic media network, please come on down, cross that border, and come to Minnesota to the Great Minnesota Get Together. It's the largest fair, Ogama, next to Texas in the United States. And Texas is largest because it's a whole month.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. That they get a little bit longer than we do. The Minnesota State Fair runs from August 25th through September 5th, which I believe is just shy of 2 weeks. Is that right?
12 days. Yep.
12 days. Yep. Okay. Great. So, fun fact for everybody who's on the air, you'll see me at the fair. This is Ogama, but I will be my first time at the Minnesota State Fair. I actually have never been in all my years as a Minnesotan. I've never been. So I'm excited to go this year. I'm especially excited to go and spend time with Native Roots Radio at the West End Market.
Yeah, definitely. And you saw those resist hats. I know we're going to save you one of those because those are a limited edition. I think we got like 50 of them and they'll go quick. You know, the Minnesota State Fair, I think is roughly averages around 2.4 or 2.6 million people in those 12 days. And things are going to go fast. So come on down there, come early. And again, we'll be broadcasting live. I'll be there early in the morning with our daughter, Jelaine, and then Wendy will be there later on, and then we'll do the show, and then we'll be exhausted, and then come on down and see if we're arguing with each other too. That's going to be fun. I'll be all burnt out. I can already feel it now. I'm very tired, and I've only been there an hour today. So, Ogama, I'm just blabbing here. We got Dr. Stately on today, and then we're going to check in with Wendy via phone. I'm going to give her a call with my secret phone here and see that she picks up because she's still pricing all those items, and it'll be a 50-50 chance if she picks up in the second segment. So we'll just drop in with her for a little bit. Yeah, this is crazy. We're just warming up to live state fair radio here. We're getting on the location reporters, so it'll be good. And let me give it to you, Ogama, before I keep babbling.
No, that's okay. I've got a lot of interesting events that are coming up here. The first one I want to talk about is from the Interfaith Action of Greater St. Paul and the Department of Indian Work. They're having a back to school event on September 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's at the Department of Indian Work on Centerville Road in Little Canada. They're giving away backpacks, school supplies, free food, free dental kits and shoes, and COVID PCR testing. Anyone who tests for COVID is going to get a free gift. And the Division of Indian Work is also having their Strong Families Community Resource Fair. Backpacks, food, and school supplies. That's this Thursday, August 25th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Prayer and honor song starts at 11:30 a.m. That's at the Division of Indian Work parking lot on East Lake Street in Minneapolis. If you would like to RSVP, call Nina at 612-584-0124 and or Shoshana at 651-325-9267. Again, that's the Division of Indian Work's Strong Families Community Resource Fair. Backpacks, food, and school supplies. Prayer and honor song start at 11:30 a.m. this Thursday, August 25th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the DIW or Division of Indian Work parking lot on East Lake Street in Minneapolis. So that is another good local event coming up. Lots of back to school events for tribes all over the Midwest, all of our listening areas. So if you haven't heard from your tribe yet, if you're an enrolled member, descendant, somebody who gets benefits from your tribe, make sure you hop on over to their social media or call up your auntie and ask, is your tribe having some sort of benefits for families as we come into the back to school season? A lot of tribes do. And it's important to get that help if you need it, right, Robert?
Well, Ogama, be careful which auntie you ask. That's all I have to say. Ho!
It's true. It's true. Another local event that is coming up here is the August Job Fair at the American Indian OIC. They have community representatives from employers from Blue Vera, Centerpoint Energy, the City of St. Paul, FedEx, and literally so many more. They are having this wonderful job fair. It was this past week, so I'm a little bit late on that one. Sorry about it, Robert. That's definitely a Monday thing.
Yeah. I think we just want to make sure that people are listening and get the. We should have a contest for get the fake ad, and that.
Yeah. Yes, the fake ad. Yeah, which one is not correct? This one is actually in the future, though. Native Son Community Power Development has partnered with the City of Minneapolis for a climate equity plan initiative. The City of Minneapolis partnered with Native Son Community Power Development, and they're going to be hosting the first of 3 community gatherings to get input for the new climate equity plan for the City of Minneapolis. The first meeting is going to take place at Little Earth at 2501 Cedar Avenue, South Minneapolis on August 27th, starting at 11 a.m. The meeting is meant event to center Native voices as the city creates new policy to combat climate change. Staff from the city are going to moderate the discussion, and Powwow Grounds is providing food. If you have any questions, please reach out to Adam Schneider at nativesun.com. So that is a good event that you definitely want to check in for if you're living in the Twin Cities area. Another really cool piece of news from the Twin Cities is that the Science Museum of Minnesota's newest anthropology fellow is Pajuta Hakaween Red Eagle. She is bringing expertise in traditional beadwork and quill work and collection stewardship, as well as meaningful connection to Dakota communities. The Minnesota Historical and Cultural Heritage Grant was the reason that she was able to get on and begin researching the objects that the Science Museum of Minnesota has in their Dakota collection: beaded vests, moccasins, necklaces, clothing, cradle boards, and a ton of other things too. So she did make a comment for the Science Museum of Minnesota's website saying that museums have not been the most welcoming place for Native people because of the history of colonization, but she hopes to invite Dakota community members in to see the collection and to share their knowledge so that the records are more complete, which is really exciting. I agree with her that museums are not usually a place where Native people are welcome, right, Robert?
Right, exactly. And they're hiding a lot of stuff because I was visiting one recently, Ogama, and they wanted to show me the stuff in the basement, and we know what that means.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I did not want to see that, or I would have started protesting myself. Oh,
Yes, exactly. I want to touch on accomplished athlete Danica Burr, who is going to be doing a 100-mile run for awareness in honor of Orange Shirt Day. Danica is a member of the MHA Nation, or 3 affiliated tribes in North Dakota. On Saturday, September 30th of 2022, she's going to be leaving Twin Buttes, North Dakota, and arriving in Bismarck, North Dakota, which is a very exciting and healing event that's going to be happening. And I want to remind people also, Sunday, September 4th is the Waters Life Festival up in Duluth at Bayfront Festival Park. Tickets are still available. The headlining artist is Annie DeFranco. MC is Thomas X, and it's hosted by Winona LaDuke in Honor of the Earth and First Avenue.
yeah, we got to get Winona on. I just talked to her a couple days ago, and she is stoked. So, and she's looking forward to seeing you up there too. I told her you were coming up there, so that's awesome. Hey, we'll be right back with an update with Wendy at the Minnesota State Fair, and then Dr. Stately. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence, and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
The Division of Indian Work is helping Native children with a back-to-school event. The Strong Community Resource Fair will take place Thursday, August 25th from 11 until 3 p.m. in the DIW parking lot at 1001 East Lake Street in Minneapolis. There will be backpacks, food, and school supplies, and a prayer and honor song at 11:30. Plus $50 of COVID vaccine incentives will be available. Again, that's Thursday, August 25th from 11 until 3 p.m. at 1001 East Lake Street in Minneapolis. Learn more by calling 612-369-9770.
J&S Bean Factory is a Native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on site from the best coffee growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, this portion's brought to you by We're at the Fair. And, you know, speaking of We're at the Fair, and that's not a song, but it's Native Roots Trading Post is at the fair, and Wendy is right there right now. Wendy, what's going on? How's the weather? What's happening at the fair?
Yes, Jelaine Johnson and I are at the fair right now, and we're setting up. We're really excited about Thursday. So Thursday, the Minnesota State Fair starts. That's August 25th, and we go through Monday, September 5th, and we're just putting all our supplies in, and we have such beautiful Native American design and art here that you have to stop by the Native Roots Trading Post. We will be at the west end of Market. You can find us there, and we will be happy to help you find any size, and we can talk about the art that's here and the artists that made the art. And we're excited. We're going to be here for 12 fun full days.
And people like Dr. Stately will be stopping by. So if you don't know what Dr. Stately looks like, we will have a contest. Which one is Dr. Stately, me or him? And but can't hear you.
Yeah.
And if you get it right, then you get a bobblehead of one of us.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. And we're really excited because we are going to be live broadcasting here, the radio show, Monday through Friday from 6 to 7, our usual time. But we will be doing it here live in front of the teepee.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Well, Wendy, I know you are working hard, and I will be bringing you food in an hour or so, you and Jelaine. And so I just wanted to check in. The shop looks great. I know we have a few more things coming in, but I'm totally stoked. And we got those resist hats. I know Ogama wants one of those.
Those are great.
Yeah, they are.
Save me one.
Maybe more than one. Cool.
We will. We'll save you one.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Wendy, thanks again. I'll see you in an hour or so.
Sounds great. Thank you. See you then.
All right. See you. Wow, Dr. Stately, we're just totally stoked here. Talk to your nephew. We're gonna have some of his stuff out there too, his hoodies and his jewelry, and
awesome.
You know, and hopefully, you know, we can get an interview with them too about it, because it's all about Native Roots Trading Post is all about supporting our local Native artists, and you know, there's not a state fair.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's so exciting that you're there this year. And with the trading post, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully the weather's going to be compliant and helpful. I think it's got a good forecast through the end of the month.
Yeah, I think so too. We already had our rain here, so it'll be exciting. And if you come down any other time too, definitely stop in if you're around at 6 to 7, because it's just going to be a potpourri of show, except except the Monday, we're going to be talking serious stuff with you when you're there with your sons. Oh, wow.
How come I always get the serious stuff?
Yeah, because you're a doctor. And
There you go. Well, yeah. So I mean, like some interesting conversations and stuff like that going on in locally about COVID. I have a few friends that I knew that got seriously sick the last couple of weeks. A handful locally, but I have a really good, I have a sister who lives in Los Angeles, and she's a principal in the school district, and she's worked the school district for 2 years, almost 3 years now with the pandemic, and didn't get sick. And now she got that very highly contagious one, BA5. The most recent variant. and she was fully vaccinated. It knocked her for a loop. She was down for the count for about a week or so, but but also like fairgoers will want to be mindful and thoughtful about circulating in tight spaces. And when I was at the fair last year, or the year was it that I think it was last year I was at the fair. I remember, I think I told you that I got separated from my kids. Did I tell you that?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I got separated from my kids, and I was so upset because it was, it closes at 10, so I'm sitting at the front of the gate, waiting, and very upset with them. And then they finally text me like at 10:20 or something like that, and they're outside in the parking lot by the car.
Wow.
They went out a different gate, and I told them to meet me at this gate. It was kind of funny, but so yeah, I was about ready to behead them, but with my words. And there you are. You're okay. You're at the car.
Right. I've missed you. Give me a hug, right?
Yeah. And then I was like, tell me you didn't share any drinks with anybody, you didn't like get close to anybody, those kinds of things. And that was like last summer. You remember how things were kind of crazy and chaotic last summer with like just that circulation. But I was recently reading an article in Minnesota currently right now, and the outstates and parts of the outstates are having an uptick in new cases according to wastewater detection. So the state has these wastewater detection systems all over throughout the entire metropolitan area, but also in the outstate areas. And they're seeing an uptick in a proliferation of new increase in cases based on wastewater information. So an uptick in and it's also matching some of the trending towards like hospitalizations, not serious hospitalizations, but still hospitalizations nonetheless. While the metropolitan area seems to be doing well. But as you know, the Great Minnesota Get Together draws people from all over the region, not just the metropolitan area. It draws people from all over the state, draws people even from Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
And from Iowa, they all come from all over the place. And so one of the things I just want to encourage fairgoers to do is like be mindful, right? Even if you're fully vaccinated and you're boosted, you still have to be cautious. Wash your hands, social distance to the extent you can, which seems kind of ridiculous in a fair to ask people to socially distance. But also like just be mindful of like how much time you spend with people indoors within things like the various attractions that require you to stay inside. Wear a mask if you're close to people, and like because you don't know, none of us can tell people who are sick. And then of course I think like doing things like if you have vulnerable people at home, elders, people who haven't been vaccinated, young ones like little tiny babies or such, you'd want to make sure that you're being careful and testing yourself for the next couple of days after you've gone to the fair, just to make sure.
That's right. And Dr. Stately, it's really good too. We're in the West End, so it's not as crowded there when people buy art down there.
Mm-hmm.
There's still crowded people in those, and if it's pre-COVID, it was hard to walk around at the fair. I mean, anywhere.
Yeah, it was very hard. I'm sure they're taking as many precautions as they possibly can to ensure there'll be probably hand sanitizer every 5 feet. I don't know, masks optional, and I would encourage people to use them if they are there in a crowded area.
That gives us food for thought. Being working that little store I've seen so many stores, whether it's coffee shops or into my grocery store, which I kind of I don't know if I've forgotten, but I was wearing my mask at the store before anyone else, and it was irritating me. And now I go in there and there's people wearing masks and I'm not. And so I'm going, well, wait a minute, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
It's just a weird.
Well, the staff are wearing them, or the
more customers.
Customers,
But a lot of staff at these coffee shops that I've stopped at are all wearing them. And so you have to take heed and take notice if you're going to get out there because they have people coming, rolling in there, getting their coffee going, coffee and going. And you don't, like you said, you don't know who's infected or not.
Yeah, you don't know. And like in certain situations, things are very, very crowded. And if you spend lots of time with people in close quarters, even when you're outdoors, like they're saying, like, this particular variant is so virulent and easy to catch and easy to transmit, something like 20 times greater than previous strains. Even if you're outdoors, and you're, never know, somebody sneezes or coughs and you're down one from them. There's particles in the air. Like, you just got to be like a little bit thoughtful and mindful. And what I would say is test. So you might notice that I'm kind of sniffling a little bit today, and I'm pretty sure it's the allergies, because my allergies have been off the chain for the last several weeks with all the wind, especially things floating in the air. But however, and I'm living on allergy medicines with 2 cats, which I'm allergic to cats, 2 cats and 2 dogs in my house that are contributing to the problem. But to be on the safe side, because I went to the Shakopee, Minnewacan, and Sioux Powwow every day this weekend, and on Saturday night, holy man, I was like shocked at how many people were there. It felt like the fair. It felt like, and so I'm going to test myself for the next several weeks.
Hey, Dr. Stately, can you stay with us? I didn't get to see you at the fair, but we'll be right back after this short break. You're listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake.
The Senior Linkage Line is a free statewide service of the Minnesota Board on Aging in partnership with Trellis. I have volunteered with seniors nearly 15 years, working alongside their compassionate team. I am honored to partner with Trellis as we help our elders find housing, compare costs of Medicare prescriptions, and learn how to avoid fraud and scams targeting seniors. We help our elders optimize well-being as they age, and we can help you too. Reach out today at trellisconnects.org.
Don't fall for vaccine misinformation. Local medical professionals are available to answer any of your questions. Initial shots and boosters are safe for people who are pregnant and even young children. Right now, vaccines are available for anyone over 6 months of age, while boosters are available for anyone over the age of 5. This message brought to you by the Native American Community Clinic. Find a vaccination site by calling 651-304-9986 or visit vaccineconnector.mn.gov.
Come see the Native Roots Trading Post at the West End Market of the Minnesota State Fair. Native Roots Trading Post is Native owned and operated. Shop goods from local and national Native artists that you'll love instantly. Native Roots Trading Post is supporting Native artists this year at the Minnesota State Fair, August 25th to September 5th. Native Roots Trading Post, we support Native artists and you can too. Buy Native at the Native Roots Trading Post this year at the Minnesota State Fair.
Hi, this is Desi Doyen of the Green News Report and the Bradcast. You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. Check out the award-winning Hazel's Northeast in Minneapolis on the corner of 29th and Johnson for a delicious meal any time of the day. Breakfast favorites include Jean's Mean Fried Egg Sandwich and the Drunken Banana French Toast. While for dinner, try selections like the fabulous Swedish meatballs or wild rice gumbo. Hazel's Northeast is located on the corner of 29th Avenue and Johnson Street, just a few minutes away from 35W. View Hazel's menu, make a reservation, or place a takeout order at hazelsnetogo.com.
Summer is going fast, but Next Chapter Booksellers has everything you need to keep up with your summer reading. From the hottest new titles to timeless classics, Next Chapter Booksellers has something for any taste. Their friendly staff are great at making recommendations for the perfect summer read for you or your loved ones. Plus, Next Chapter Booksellers has a wide variety of puzzles and games for those rainy days. So keep up with your summer reading at Next Chapter Booksellers off Snelling and Grand in St. Paul. More at nextchapterbooksellers.com.
If you're like most people, you probably noticed your energy bills are going up and going up fast. Unfortunately, that's not likely to change anytime soon. So if high utility bills have you seeing red, see green instead by locking in an energy rate with All Energy Solar. Switching to All Energy Solar gives you peace of mind knowing your energy costs won't be rising along with fossil fuel costs. Solar panels last 25 to 30 years, giving you a good idea of where your energy is coming from for decades to come. Plus, a system from All Energy Solar could save you even more with net metering. With net metering, extra energy generated by your solar panels is sent back into the energy grid in exchange for credit on your electric bill. Those credits pay for your energy use on days when solar production is low or your electricity use is high. So declare your independence from the fossil fuel industry by switching to All Energy Solar. Get a free, no-obligation assessment from All Energy Solar by calling 800-620-3370 or visiting allenergysolar.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear tonight with a low of 62, then sunshine on Tuesday with a high of 82. Nightingale at 26th and Lindale in Minneapolis is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood bar and restaurant. Now open daily from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. with their full menu available until midnight. Check them out today at nightingalempls.com.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, what is this portion brought to you by Ogama? Do you have any clue? We missed out on Wendy. Do you know?
Yeah, this portion of the show is brought to you by MN350, working for a sustainable future.
Yes, definitely they are. And there's little baby, if you guys are watching us, I know we got like 20, 30 people watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube. We got the little baby, and it's so cute. Looks like she has a mohawk. Dr. Stately, how did I miss you at the powwow here? I was there all 3 days. Well, I only stayed a little bit Sunday, but we usually run into each other.
I don't know. There was like, I think it's just the pure amount of people that were there. It was like, I remember. So when I got there on Saturday, I only went briefly for a moment or two on Friday because it was raining.
Right.
By the time I actually got there, it started raining. You know, I only live like a couple of minutes. I live like literally 5 to 10 minutes from the tribal powwow grounds. So I was on my way out the door and I saw like a couple of drops on my windshield. I was like, oh, it's probably just a little drizzle. So I kept going and I got there and I was walking up the hill and I got to the top of the hill and it's just like, you know, within minutes it started raining. So I left. And then went back the next day in the afternoon and oh my God, I had to wait in line for 45 minutes to get from like the main highway into the powwow grounds. There were that many people there and there were like tons of cars, so many cars. I think they were parked over that one, the one hilly and grassy knoll at the end of their powwow grounds, the parking area, which I've never seen them use in all the years I've gone there. So, and then I got up there and it just felt like, you know, it felt a lot like being at the state fair where there was just tons of people and long lines for the food and, you know, lots of people in the arena and also lots of people, you know, buying goods at all of the stands and, you know, and it was, you know, I was shopping for my powwow merch and things were really tight in every tent I was in. So I was like, well, I had never seen that. Like, I think what it demonstrated for me was like lots of people wanting to get back out and be social and be connected and, you know, a little pandemic, fatigue and wanting to be out there and being around people, which is great. You know, I'm all for like I got this lovely pin from there. Really disappointed that I didn't get a shirt by the time I got there on Saturday afternoon. That all the shirts were sold out.
Yep, and the hoodies. That was almost Friday night. The hoodies were gone. I always get nice.
Yeah. And I think, like, I talked to a couple of folks that I knew, like on the tribal powwow committee, and some other folks just in the community there, and I think they were all surprised that as many people came back.
Well, that's what we're thinking about the fair is going to be just like that. Because, Wendy and I normally go, 8 or 9 times to the fair, and we didn't go the last couple of years because of course we didn't have it. And then last year we want to chance it. And everything is, all the powwows I've gone to this year have been tremendous, like record-breaking numbers. It's crazy. And Dr. Stately, before I get going too far, I just want to say thanks a lot for covering us last Monday. It was a great show. I watched the show and listened to it.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah,
I'm going to have to get somebody else to do the show for you because you do too good of a job, and I could go by a doctor.
I'm stealing your thunder.
Speaking, that's my native name.
Steal my thunder?
Yes, close.
That's funny. So anyway, hey, I was just driving home this evening on the way home from work to get home and feed my kids and my dogs, my cats before I get on the radio. And like I heard the NPR piece about this Native astronaut who's going to be the first Native woman in space.
Yeah, Ogama talking about that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Nicole Mann, I think that's awesome. It's amazing. It's really exciting, and I want to be the first Native doctor to go into space.
My daughter has a copy of Notable Native People that she was gifted by Senator Mary Kunish, actually. And I haven't checked to see if Nicole Mann is in there already. And if she's not, I'm going to have to add a little slip of paper in there for her
you go.
Let her know Nicole Mann's in there. Ooh, too.
I think it's such an amazing thing, like we have things happening in my lifetime that I never thought possible, that I never ever thought would happen, which is, I was a child of the 60s and the 70s. So I've been through the civil rights movement, through the AIM movement, through the, all the things that have really been definitive in our, over our history. And just the fact that we're doing some of the things that we're doing. We have, actually, also, I think this current biennium, but like at the last election, the state election, we elected more Native people both in the state of Minnesota, but across the United States, we've elected more Native people to local, state, and national legislative offices than we've ever done in the history of our ability to vote. So, I want to just encourage people, if you can get out to the fair, you make sure you get out to the polls in November. We got really decisive elections, polling to do. We have some really dangerous things happening locally here in the state. That crazy piece earlier today on NPR about how. Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to say their name. I'm sorry. The other news radio show whose name cannot be mentioned talked about the the crazy statements of the Republican gubernatorial candidate Scott Jensen, who is a doctor, who is a medically trained doctor who is out there saying the craziest crap about we appreciate that I didn't swear, right? The craziest crap about COVID-19, and comparing the efforts that we took to sort of kind of quell the transmission and keep it all contained and underneath, which we did a much better job than a lot of other jurisdictions did in that area. And comparing that to the Holocaust and Hitler, comparing just absolutely nut job, this man.
Dr. Stately, It also proves that if you go to Harvard, you aren't that smart.
Oh my God. You don't well, I mean, I don't know. He's
lieutenant governor candidate. What the heck?
that
Everything,
good
everything that I've read that he said, my response has been, like, really? Like, you're allowed to run for office? Like, those are my questions with him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can run for office if you're able to fill out the form and submit it as a candidate. Whether you actually win or not is comprised of a whole bunch of other things. It's kind of like, can you get enough? Huh?
I'm happy we're not in Herschel Walker's state because,
oh man,
I sound like a rocket scientist when I talk compared to him.
Oh my God.
I mean,
the man must have gotten hit too many times in the head with football because he's like.
Well, he was kind of that way when he was a Viking. He always talked in the third person, and it was very trippy to hear him. What was that? 30 years ago he was a Viking.
Yeah.
It was weird.
I don't trust anybody that speaks of themselves in the third person.
Right.
Like if I were to start.
You wouldn't trust my daughter, Dr. Stately, my oldest.
Well, she's got a lot of time still, but I know people who are like, well, the so-and-so wants to. I was like, good Lord, who talks like that? So it's like
Robert feels hungry right now. He wants to hurry.
Yes. So, I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, it's proof that you don't have to have a tremendous amount of intelligence to run for office. It's also proof that you actually don't have to be a very compassionate and kind person to be able to do it either. Actually, it seems like in the last couple of iterations.
I wonder if I could get in Harvard now. Do you think I could get in Harvard?
I think that's worth a try. You should just see if you can do it. Yeah.
Matt Burke is a kind of a signpost there.
Yeah. Hey. You could apply, and then at your interview, when you do your admissions interview, you could do like you can talk about yourself in the third person. You can talk about how intelligent the Robert is.
Oh my God. All right. We're having a radio show here. This is comedy and I love it, but
we should probably actually talk about really important interesting.
Well, let me just say this too before we jump on to the next commercial break, is that 13 of the 14 Native American candidates in the last cycle that ran in Minnesota, and they were all on our Rock the Vote Native Style show. And we're doing that again. But awesome. What did they do up north? The 9,000 Native Americans that never voted before or just turned age. That's what we got to do again. And,
absolutely.
Bull versus Way is really firing people up because who's next? And already Clarence Thomas is going to make his marriage illegal too, because he won't be able to be married to a white person. Won't be able to be married.
Well, I mean, the theory there is that he's not actually black. So I think that's what he thinks. He's not actually black. But anyway, sorry. Poor taste.
Hey, is this recorded? Can we edit it? No, this is live.
It's it's a joke. People are allowed to say jokes. Come on now. I did say it was a joke. Anyway, but here's the thing: is like also it's like what was really phenomenal. I read this article about people that were working boots on the ground to seal the deal with their legislative action in the election in Kansas. Sharice Davids was on the boots on the ground doing that door knocking and that campaigning and that work. And Native people, when we show up, we can swing elections. When we show up in mass and we use our vote and our power of our voice, we can change things. So
absolutely great way to segue into the last segment. Thank you, Dr. Stately. Stay with us, Dr. Stately. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we're with Dr. Stately, Ogama, and Nova, and Wendy's working hard at the fair. We'll be right back after this short break. Hey, Wendy, what are we doing for dinner after the show?
How about we go to J. Selby's on 169 Victoria Street in St. Paul? They have a delicious plant-based menu that's compassionate and environmentally sustainable.
I'm getting their spot-on vegan Big Mac, the dirty secret.
You can pick up and they deliver within a 5-mile radius, or you can call them at 651-222-3263. or visit jselbys.com.
Well, you sold me one. Let's go order at J. Selby's tonight.
I'm hungry.
St. Paul Public Schools wants to make sure you're ready for back to school. They're having a 2-day Indian education school supply pickup on August 25th and 26th. It takes place at the Creative Arts Secondary School located at 65 East Kellogg Boulevard in St. Paul. Plus $50 of COVID vaccine incentives will be available both days. Again, that's the Indian Education School supply pickup on Thursday, August 25th and Friday, August 26th at 65 East Kellogg Boulevard in St. Paul. Learn more by calling 612-369-9770.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, this
go ahead, Robert. This portion of the show is brought to you by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Dr. Stately, we're here with Dr. Stately, the CEO of the Native American Community Clinic here in the Twin Cities in Minneapolis. And it's funny, this conversation's really funny, but it's, also very important to talk about COVID and still be masked up. So it's really, you bring a lot to the table here on Mondays, and I'm really just happy. I don't even know how many years you've been on the show, but it's been at least 3 or 2, it seems like.
2, I think. Since 2020. 2020. So.
Yeah, and we've been on 5 days.
Starting my 3rd year here soon.
We're gonna.
Which reminds me, I have to renegotiate my contract.
Yeah, did Wendy send you that Venmo payment for the last one? Oh, we'll have to even up there next Monday at the fair.
I'm just gonna go to the fair, and I'm gonna visit the store, and I'm gonna compensate myself while I walk to the store.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, hey, you never know. Matter of fact, we did meet with a COVID symposium that we did, and
that's how we met.
That's right, and it's crazy because a lot of our new listeners probably don't know this because we're on a lot more stations in Wisconsin now, and we're on 30 more stations. We're in the Civic Media Network now, and you had COVID early on before there was any kind of vaccine or anything, and people were passing away. And I mean, we forget about that. And, I remember doctors that were coming home, taking off their clothes and washing them at the door and just not knowing how things were happening.
Yeah. Those were crazy times for sure. We're certainly not there anymore, which is, thank God, thank Creator. It's a blessing to not be there in that space anymore. But man, those were crazy times and hard times. I actually, reflect on that moment, not as much as I did the first year or so after I had it, but when big things come up, I reflect on that moment and how transformative it was for me to be like in the hospital, be sick with COVID. My first few days there, not being sure, being a little bit frightened that I wouldn't see my kids again. That was probably I wasn't even like at that point in time. I remember telling you, like, I wasn't even scared for myself. What I was scared for was like that my kids would, because I didn't have all my ducks in a row. I hadn't like figured out, who's going to take care of my kids, what I was going to do. I didn't do all that stuff. And of course I wanted to, be my kids' dad and raise them. So I was frightened and I was scared, and I had a couple big things happen this summer, like getting my son's names. Their Dakota names was a big thing for me. And I said to them, when they asked me like, what is this? Why are we doing this? Like, why is this important? And I said to them, I said, the one thing I wanted, when I was in that hospital and I didn't know if I was going to come home and I was going to see you again, I was really sad that I hadn't at that point in time been able to get you your Dakota name, because and they were like, well, why is that important? And I was like, because your Dakota name is the name that the creator knows you by, the maker that knows it's who your relatives, your ancestors know you as, all those spirit people on the other side. And then if I had passed away, I'd be on the other side. How would I find you on the earth, kind of thing, right? So I was like, and just told them, I said, that was really, really important to me. And so when I was able to do that a couple of weeks ago, like at the end of July, get their names, I felt really complacent. I felt really like, contented, rather, not complacent, contented. I was grateful, and I was, thank God, Creator, I was able to be here and have this happen. And it was reassuring,
It's very important. I mean, I was told by my family that when I pass on, my family will be calling me by my name.
Mm-hmm.
I won't know my name. I won't know for me. So it is very important.
Yeah.
Everyone in my family, immediate family, my daughters and my wife and I are all named. I just found out something here that is very interesting. And you know how I talk about the Ojibwe, right? In private lately. I found out I'm part Ojibwe now, and I have to bite all my words that I said bad about Ojibwe.
You're on Anishinaabe too. Welcome.
You're not going to live that
Robert.
down for a long time.
Nope.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah. So you were one of the last ones here after your other relatives. And maybe you were like,
oh my gosh, that's funny, and it's an inside joke. Oh,
anyway, well, welcome to the greatest nation on earth.
Right on. Maybe you can give me my Ojibwe name sometime. Oh,
I already have it picked out.
Right on. That's what my uncle said. So I don't know. I hope it's true. Well, this has been a fun show. Ogama, jump in. I thought you were. People are watching Ogama on StreamYard or YouTube. I thought she was changing her daughter's diapers for a minute there, but
she's doing baby yoga. Is she doing baby
She's
yoga?
learning how to sit up, so she was
okay.
getting a little tired, so she just put her hand and her head into my back, or into my hand, and leaned back to lay on her back on the table. So she's content down there. I'm letting her hang
I
out.
would love to be able to do that. Just like lay back and have
Just
somebody
like
catch
chill.
me.
I know, right?
Dr. Stately was able to talk to you about the movie Prey. Had you been able to that? Because
I finally was able to see Prey. Everybody, I was late to the party, but I really enjoyed it.
I didn't finish it yet. I gotta still finish it. So don't tell me.
Okay.
Don't do any disclosures here. What do you call them?
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I did just finish the entire season of Reservation Dogs. I wanted to see it from beginning to end. I watched them back to back to back.
Yeah.
So that I could start the new season and be all fresh and ready.
Yeah, we're on the 4th episode on Reservation Dogs, and Bobby Wilson told me I can't have him on the show until he is going to be on. He was on last week, but I mean, I think he's going to be on a prominent role again, like he was like a store owner of a head shop, I think, in one of the
Nice.
series.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was the head of the medicinal marijuana shop.
Right. Hey, one of my favorite episodes was with Bill Burr. If you went and watched him again, where he was talking
That's up there for me too.
about the daughter's mom that he used to go to
Yeah.
high school with. I thought that one really had heart. And then the last one too about I won't give it away, but there was a gathering of family and friends supporting, and it was like that was a good one too. And Bobby Wilson was in there. Kind of incognito with a hat on, but he was in that one. And I texted him and said that was a great show, and he said thanks. And
Yeah. That the guy that plays the main kid, what's his name?
I don't know, it's a long
name. I know. He's he's showing up all over Indian country at every powwow.
Mhm.
I have all kinds of friends and relatives taking pictures with him. I'm all salty about it.
You know,
He
I
showed
just
up
seen
at
him.
he showed up at Four Sisters Market last Thursday or 2 Thursdays ago, and I was like missed him by like 20 minutes. I was so mad.
me too. And you know how I am with selfies. Hey, Dr. Stately, thanks a lot. We're gonna put those little codes on all those shirts, so if you take them, they blow up. Paint blows up. So be careful when you come out into the store. Hey, Native
Ooh.
tomorrow. Thank you again, Dr. Stately, Ogama, and Wendy at the fair. We'll see you tomorrow.
Located just north of 50th in France, the Great Wall Restaurant has provided a delicious taste of